Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, January 28th, 2021. And I want to welcome everybody here to our live workshop. I'm actually going to give us just a couple of minutes for people to jump on because people will just start getting their Facebook notifications that we're here. So we have a new system that actually alerts people, and it'll pop up on your phone. And you probably saw that is the reason you're here right now. So I'm going to let this go for just a second. And just FYI, there is about a 10-second lag. I'm over here on my iPad also checking us out just to make sure that we're really here. So without further ado, what I'm going to go ahead and do is get started with our intros. So my name is Chrisanne Dale, and I'm the founder of the Yard Card Business Network. I have been in this crazy business since 1999. That's 21 years of craziness. It's 2 kids, a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old. They're both about to be 22 and 20. So yes, I have raised kids pre-social media at the very infancy of when we had businesses that could even have a website. So I've seen a lot of changes, good, bad, ugly, spent thousands, gazillions of hours on learning. And I have helped thousands and thousands of clients along the way. I wish I actually had a total of that.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
And of course, my Alexa's going off. So, this is a real world, right? Right, y'all? Does that ever happen to y'all? Okay, so hi there. Hello. It's nice to see you coming over here and joining us. I appreciate that. So the next person I am going to introduce is Crystal, and I'm going to let Crystal introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Crystal. I am the marketing assistant for Chris and I'm a mom of 2. That's why you might hear a little background noise. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I just graduated from the University of Houston with my major in marketing and a minor in communications. So I am open for any questions if y'all have any.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. And I'll just tell you all, Crystal has been here and she and I have built the Yard Card Business Network, this association. We have built it from the ground up. Just literally, I've been working on this project for a long time and tweaking and pivoting. And when it was time to finally start launching this, Crystal was there. We built this together. And so it's been a wonderful labor of love. And we really absolutely love serving you all. So, and I just want to point out, I did this with 2 little bitty ones in the house. Crystal, you can attest, she's doing this. She went to school, worked full-time, worked for me, and has a 3 and a 5-year-old. And for some of this, her husband was out of town, so she was single momming it, including during a hurricane. I'm just saying, we all can make excuses for why we can't do X, Y, and Z, but you also can. So anyway, there's my spiel about that. So then the wonderful other team member that is not here with us is Ashley. She is our certified QuickBooks advisor. And the reason she's not here is, well, let's face it, it's the end of the month for the end of 2020, basically. And January 31st, all scheduled 1099 forms are required legally to be sent out. And if you have any independent contractors, you know this, and you need to have that 1099 out to everybody. And she is eyeball deep drowning in processing 1099s to get them out for all of her wonderful clients. So she is our expert, as you can imagine. She is a certified QuickBooks Pro. In fact, she's an elite certified. That means she is like the top of the top, the cream of the crop. And she's also a Yard Card business owner. She has a very unique skill set because she understands the nitty gritty craziness that is our world. Because let's just face it, does anybody else really understand what we do except for us? Right? Okay, I'm going to look up here and just make sure It's still streaming, right? You're going to see me do that sometimes. I'm looking at my iPad, just making sure that we haven't all dropped off the face of the earth here. So anyway, Ashley and I have teamed up and we go through a lot of the different financial things. And so what I'm going to talk to you all about, if you're here, that means you have received our business expense categories cheat sheet. And she and I teamed up to work on all of those categories to present it to you. We're a small but mighty team. And then Crystal goes and she makes things beautiful. And she questions things. And she's like, hey, did you mean X, Y, or Z on this? So it takes the three of us to bring something that seems so simple sometimes. So like I said, that's Ashley's part. We all bring it together, 21 years of doing this. And then before that, you know, I was also in the business world. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and get started. Give me just a second. Believe it or not, we have spammers. That's new. Hold on one second, y'all. This is a first. Did you know you can get spammers on your business page? Well, of course you can. But that's okay. Okay, give me 1 second, y'all. That's just the funniest thing. Okay, we're back on track. There's a something new every day. What I want to do now is if you happen to have your cheat sheet in front of you, go ahead or if you don't, go ahead and get that out. I'm going to pull mine up. And in fact, I'm going to pull it up on my screen. So hang tight. I'm going to work with technology here, which can be kind of dangerous sometimes. So I'm going to share my screen and go load it up. 1 second, okay? Hang tight with me. I'm going to go over here. All right. 1 second. I'm going to actually open the exact one you all have. And now, can somebody let me know if you can see it? Are we good, Crystal?
I think we're fine. I'm watching it on my phone too.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm trying to find a way to minimize it. Let's see if this works. All right. Okay, can everybody see this? Awesome, thank you. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Armando. Oh, you're up next. We're going to have a fun training with you soon. Yay, Armando. Side note, everybody, if you see Armando down here, Armando is our phenomenal Facebook ads expert. And when I say expert, this guy especially specializes in local businesses. He's not just some online marketing guy. He is a wonderful guy. He lives right here in the same town, in our little old town of Houston, Texas. And I know there's a bunch of Houstonians also that jump on here. And he works with local businesses. You know, we need something special and we need some TLC that's a lot different than just online businesses. So Armando and I have something special coming up here soon, but we'll talk about that on another Facebook Live. All right, we're going to get back to this now. And I think we have my screen pulled up. I'm going to keep checking comments just to make sure. Yes, Armando is awesome. Armando is awesome. Okay, that'll be a future Facebook training that we will do, or we might actually jump into Zoom for that. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to zoom into here. Everybody, you should have your cheat sheet. If you don't, that's okay. You can follow along here. And this is what we've come up with. And if this is your first year in business, if you haven't already come up with your own system, this is a wonderful categorized system. And I'm just going to read through it real quick. And I know you know how to read, but I want to just touch on a few points. First of all, number one, we've got advertising and promotion. We're talking Facebook ads, email marketing, business cards, your website, anything related to your website. Let's see, do you have, let's say I said business cards, any marketing materials? If you have something you leave behind, do you leave behind pens and thank you notes, anything like that? we're talking, are you advertising on a business directory? We used to have a business directory for the yard card industry. And anybody that was an advertiser, if you advertise and pay, that's an advertising expense. There's a lot of things you can go down the rabbit hole on, but you want to make the most of your advertising dollars. Okay, next up, bank fees. Hopefully, and this is important, do you have a separate business banking account? If not, I want you to stop right now, make a note somewhere, your phone, pick up a pen and paper, make a note that you are going tomorrow or Monday, you're going to go open up a business banking account. We can go over that separately, but we just want to keep going. If you are paying any bank fees, this is where you're going to put those, tally those up. Now, car and truck expenses. Y'all, this is one that is going to be a totally separate animal you're going to need to work on. This is not as quick and easy, but that one's going to be separate. You're going to need your mileage. I'll just tell you right now, the IRS allowance is 57.5 cents per business mile. If you're not tallying up your mileage, you are leaving money on the table. All right, that also goes for any parking. Like here in Houston, we have tolls. And so if you're working for business and you're going through the same Houston tollway, guess what? Those tolls are tax deductible. All right, next up, credit card merchant processing fees. Who here uses PayPal? Say PayPal, leave me a note in the comments if you are a PayPal user, or Stripe, or Square. Let's see who else you have. Let me know which credit card processing companies you are using. You might be using more than one. The next thing I'm going to talk about, which is a little bit down the rabbit hole, is Venmo. If you are using Venmo, I'm just going to tell you right now, that is not legit. You are going against their terms of service if you are using your personal Venmo for business transactions. So that's a whole other thing to talk about. But let's see, we've got Square, Venmo, and Square. Square, I love Square. Square's my favorite, by the way. PayPal, QuickBooks, heck yeah. Awesome. PayPal again, excellent. Every one of those, you've got your breakdown of how much you have paid in merchant processing fees. Guess what? That's tax deductible. You should never get upset over your credit card fees because look at this, they're tax deductible. This is part of doing business. All right, consulting services. This could be something like having Armando consult with you on Facebook ads. It could also be if you're one of my business coaching clients. Those are some good examples for consulting. Now, contract labor, 1099. Did you have anybody work for you in 2020, or do you anticipate to in 2021? They're going to be one of two things. They're either going to be a 1099 employee, that means they're an independent contractor, or they're going to be an actual traditional employee that we call a W-2 employee. If you're going to do traditional W-2 employees, you're going to really need to that's a whole other set of things that you're going to need to work on. If you're already doing that, that's awesome. You already know what you're doing. However, contract labor, if you're doing that, you are required to send them a 1099 if they have earned $600 or more. That could be $601 or more in one calendar year. And that form is due by January 31st of, I guess it's 2021 now. Okay, next up, dues, membership, subscriptions. With that, if you are one of my awesome and super special Yard Card Business Network members, your membership is tax deductible. And I know I've got several of you on here, and so I appreciate y'all showing up so much. So that's one of the things you get. You're investing in your business, but you're also getting to claim it on your taxes. Let's see. Do you have a QuickBooks membership? Do you have a membership to Adobe, to Canva, to an email service provider? Every single one of those, if you have some sort of recurring subscription and it's for business, that's where it's going to go. Okay, next up, education. That might seem like, no, you're not in school. Well, there's a lot of things that count for that. If this were a paid workshop, this would go into that expense, into that category. any different trainings. I've done specific. Armando happens to have, or I'm not trying to plug Armando, but he is actually a really great example of some of these. Armando actually has a Facebook ads leads mastery course. So if you were to purchase that, you would actually get to claim it here on your taxes. Other sorts of professional development. And if you buy a business book, guess what? This is where that can go for your tax deduction. Okay, home office. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole because that could be a full 1-hour training on its own. But just know, if you have a dedicated home office, that means that space is used 100%. Let me repeat that, 100% for you to conduct business, then you may qualify for the home office exemption or home office deduction. I will tell you all, find a place in your home that is 100% for your business because you will reap the rewards of having a home office. Okay, next up is insurance. Does anybody have liability insurance? This is business insurance. If you do, this is where that's going to need to go. And yes, Mar Chamber of Commerce, yes, that's going to be one of your memberships. Thank you for asking on that one. Okay, let's see. So any sort of insurance you've got, this does not include your personal insurances. If you've got homeowners insurance, if you've got your auto insurance and it's personal, that's not where you're going to put this. If you've got commercial auto insurance, then you got to look at your policy with your provider and see exactly how it's classified because that may go in there. Now, next up is going to be interest. And, this is where it gets a little much of a gray area. And I really recommend asking a professional. I am not a professional tax or accounting or bookkeeping person, nor do I play one on TV. I just know what I have learned from my experience and what Ashley, our QuickBooks advisor, and I have talked about. And she wanted to make sure that I put it in there so that you all make sure that you're looking at that. Okay, next up is actually the legal and professional services. Now, this is where our QuickBooks subscription and your QuickBooks services can come in. Ashley's company is actually called Cover Your Assets Bookkeeping. Yes, you can all figure out that pun on there. But what she does is she actually offers a professional bookkeeping service with different options specifically for our paid members. And so if somebody wants to join and get her services, then she gives us a wonderful discount, which quite frankly, she needs to go up on her rates, but she keeps insisting she doesn't want to. But if you've got if you've got some, like I happen to have a home-based business writer, and a legal writer basically. And so that's included under the legal and professional services. Now, meals and entertainment, you all need to be really wary of this one. Because just like today, I went through Chick-fil-A. I was coming home from a delivery. Does that count? Who thinks that counts for my deduction, for my meals deduction? Okay, spoiler alert, it does not count because I was going to eat anyway. I'm local, I'm near my home, and I was not conducting business with somebody. So you really want to be careful when you're looking at your meals and your entertainment. Now, let's say that I'm going out to California to meet Armando, which is exactly where he and I met 2 years ago in California. Then guess what? All of those travel and meals, those are legit. We get to claim those. But considering the past, 11 months, probably a lot of us haven't traveled for business. Okay, next up, we've got office expenses. Oh my gosh, y'all. I want you to think about this. Did you buy pens? And I mean like regular ones, not promotional ones. I can't show them to you or I got to redo my screen here. Let's see if I can show mine. I'm going to try to show you my pen. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not. Well, mine says Flamingos to go. I'm always using promotional pens, but these would go under advertising expenses. These would not go under office expenses. However, if you've got your Sharpies, anything else, if you think of printer paper, when you think of an office supply, a school supply sort of thing, that's your office expense. So those add up, y'all. This is why it's so important to look line by line at your bank statements and at your credit card transactions. Okay, next up, rent. Who here has a storage unit, any sort of warehouse where you are renting space for your business? You might even be renting an office space. If you're renting an office space, you're going to have a lot more detailed deductions that you can go through. But for the sake of our training, this is primarily going to be more about storage warehouses of some sort that you are renting out. Those are deductible. You just need to make sure you have a paper trail for every single one of these things. I should just say that. Let's see. Next up, we have repairs and maintenance. And, that's going to be a tricky one. But if you're like me, like I have a vinyl cutter and I would show it off, but I'll have to mess up my camera. And if I had to get that repaired, that would be covered under there. If I had to just get it maintenance. So I know some people have these ginormous printers nowadays, and those are pretty pricey. If you had to get that maintenance, at least you can deduct it here. Okay, here we go. We've got supplies. What do you think a supply is? What comes to mind when you think of a supply? I can think of all kinds of things that are supplies. But guess what? There's more that are supplies than you might think. Do you have any signs? Do you have any stakes? Do you have anything like that? I happen to have vinyl. I use a lot of vinyl. I have blank coroplast. Those are signs as well. So we're going to come back and we're going to circle back around. So remind me in just a couple of minutes because I have a point to that. But I want to keep going down the list and we're almost done with that. Next up, we've got our taxes, our licenses, and our business permits. Now, at some point, you had to go get a DBA, doing business as. If you're in Texas, you go down to your local county office and you pay your money, your $25 or whatever it is, and you get your doing business as, basically your business permit. If you actually go and get an LLC with your state, it's here in Texas, it's around $300, $350. So whatever that is, guess what? That's deductible. Now, here's another one, your sales tax. You know how you collect sales tax, at least in most states, everybody's collecting sales tax, or you're supposed to. Side note, if you didn't know you're supposed to, go ask somebody that is already in this business or ask somebody at the state level. Look on their website if you are required to be collecting sales tax. If somebody says, oh, no, you're a service-based business, you don't have to, do not believe that. Go find somebody else that knows more than them and find out the real deal. Now, here in Texas, we collect sales tax. And guess what? You're either paying it every month, every quarter, or once a year. And that's all based on your annual sales. And I collect 8.25%. And I pay that. And then guess what? On my taxes, I get to claim it as well. How great is that? So, it is. I go back to it's just part of doing business, right? Let's see. Any other licenses? Like I said, the business permit. If you're in a state, I know that there's actually some states where you have to get an official business license. So you're going to know your personal state licensing issues. Okay, and then we covered travel, meals and entertainment. We're going to put that kind of all in one lump sum. Now, utilities for business. This is an interesting one because if you do have that separate office, like let's say you're at one of those storage office buildings, then you're going to have a separate utilities expense for you. But for the rest of us, unless you are getting 100% dedicated utilities just for your business, then other utilities are part of your home. And that's going to go under the home office rabbit hole. And I promise you, though, if you can get a dedicated home office, all of those deductions add up. Okay, next up, we actually already talked about W-2s. Let's see here. And really, that's the end of that list. And I know you all know how to read. That's not the point of that. I wanted to just kind of be able to clarify and expand on some of those. And I'm going to check the comments real quick. Let's see. We've got, Mara, yes, the Chamber of Commerce counts as a membership. And then yard cards, tape and a mallet. Yes, Allie. Hi, Allie. That's a perfect example. Thank you. Scissors. Let's see. The things that I call the tools in your tool belt that you need to have. Those are the types of things. If you have an actual tool belt that you wear, that would be one. I'm trying to think. Goof off, goo gone. I don't know about y'all, but we use a bunch of mosquito spray, Neosporin, Band-Aids. There's all kinds of things like that. But yes, tape and a mallet are probably the better examples of that. Okay, next up, I'm actually going to close that screen. Let's see if I do this right. Hang with me, y'all, because technology and we like to play well together, but sometimes we don't. Woo! Okay, next up, here's what I want to do. We are going to dive in real quick. I made this little business expense template. Actually, Crystal and I made this together. And here's what I recommend. If you don't already have your system, this is why this is important. Google Docs. This is a Google spreadsheet, basically, and it's free. All you have to do is type in every one of your categories. And then guess what? When you get to something, what are we going to pick on? We're going to pick on advertising. I want to make sure y'all can see this real quick. How's everybody doing? Let me just check in with everybody. I am talking really fast because it looks like I'm talking to myself, right? I'm looking at a computer screen. And I want to value your time and my time and go as quickly as possible so that we can get back to doing all kinds of other productive things, right? Okay, I think everybody's doing all right so far. How do we sign up? Oh, I love it. And you know what, Marilyn, I will talk about that here at the end. I promise I'll get back to that. And Crystal, make sure that we have Marilyn on here in case something happens with the connection that we can get in touch with Marilyn. Okay, Marilyn, did you sign up for the cheat sheet? Let's just find that out real quick. I always get nervous with technology that if something happens and all of a sudden all the connections go down, we're not able to get back in touch with you. Okay, awesome. Phew. We're going to get back to it now. So what we've done is we've created this Google Doc. It's a Google Sheet. It's a free spreadsheet. And we basically just put all of those categories in here. They're not going to all apply to you, but guess what? Put them in here anyway. And then this is what I do. So you know how this says advertising? I'm going to back up a little bit. This is where it gets kind of mucky. You're going to have to go through your bank statements and your credit cards. My hope is that you were able to download them into a CSV file. What that means is then you can open it up in a Google Sheet, or if you have Excel, in Excel, because then you can do some fancy sorting features. I can't teach you how to do the sorting. That could take an hour training on its own, but we have Google and YouTube for that. But what I want to show you then is once you have everything together, I'm just going to pick on some things. So here's what I recommend. Can you see down here where I have these different tabs? So I've got this tab with all the different different categories. And then you can add more tabs, right? Okay, sheet 2. So here's what I would do. We've got this, and I would want to go, here's advertising. I'm going to break out advertising as a different tab, a different spreadsheet. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, I have my I have my domain name I bought. I have a GoDaddy charge. And let's just pretend I'm pulling this all off of my bank statements. I have a GoDaddy charge and I pay, I'm making up numbers, y'all, $25 a year for that. Let's say I did Facebook ads and I spent $5,000. Let's say I spent, my web hosting. Let's talk about that. If you do not have a website, you need a website. Do not ever rely just on social media for your business. The reason for that, what if they just decide to take it away? Where are your customers? You don't know where they are because they just went away. Facebook is actually even more now than ever is just shutting down pages and groups. So if you are relying strictly on your business Facebook page, they can do this with your personal page too. But for business purposes, if all that goes away, woo, it's kind of dicey. So you always want to make sure you have a website. And what I recommend, and Armando will piggyback on this with me, is to have it all work together, because Facebook is so powerful and we need to be on there and we need to be advertising. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I'm saying. So I have my web hosting company. So I would list that there, and I think I pay $250 a year. Let's say I did, let's see, what else did I do? Let's say I did some pens. I bought some promo pens from National, National Pens, I think. And let's say I spent $100 on that. Okay, so you get the point. I'm going to list all of those here, line by line, right? And then down here, I want to tally all those up. Now, I recommend not doing this by hand. What we're going to do here, and I'm hoping y'all can see this. I should probably check. I'm going to check for just a second, y'all. Okay, so you can do one of two things. You can manually tally this up. I do not recommend that, but you can. Or you can pick the cell. So, right, we want to tally up all this. So right here is where I want that result. You can do one of two things. You can go over here. I'm going to try to go slower. This is called the AutoSum. Do you see that funky looking E? That's a function, and that's a sum. Well, all of a sudden, do you see what popped up here? Well, now what I want to do is I want to tell the Google Sheet what numbers, what fields, what cells, I guess, that I want to tally up. So I'm going to highlight all of those, and I have to go a little slowly. And can you see where it says sum parentheses B4 colon B7? Do y'all see that? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit enter. And there we go. There's my total advertising. And if your cells are too skinny or too wide, this is simple stuff you can do. I like to, put my amounts on here. This is just a really simple down and dirty version. But what I want to do is I'm just showing you, like I've got advertising. So then what I'm going to do, I don't know if Google Sheet will allow this or not. I'm going to try to copy it. Edit, copy. In Excel, you have a lot more functions. And then I'm going to go over here to our original category sheet, go over here to advertising, and I'm going to hopefully paste. No. Okay. Well, unfortunately, this is one of the downsides. So I use Excel, truthfully. I only did this because this is free. So in this case, guess what we're going to do? We're going to remember 5375. We're going to go over here to sheet 1, and we're going to say 5375. Always double check your numbers. And then you can go on and you can create a sheet for every category. Or if you're like me, you'll just start a new category here. I would go bank fees, and then I would list those. And, a lot of times something small like that, you don't even need a separate one. You're just going to put it there. Let's say it's $100. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it. When you've got, you've got different questions on different ones. Meals, entertainment. I did actually just check with Ashley on that. And I am right. You're going to have to be real careful with those, with your interest. So what I recommend you do, again, is go through line by line on your credit card and on your bank statements. And guess what? Then you're going to be ready. You're going to have a good snapshot. Let me stop this for a second. I'm going to come back over to you. Here it comes. Are we back? Awesome. Hip, hip, hooray, right? Okay, I did that right. For any of you who have been around me for a while, you should be impressed, because a lot of times technology and it doesn't always agree with me, and all kinds of wacky things can happen. So today we're doing all right. Let's see. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Crystal, for answering that. I appreciate that. So let's see. What else? I lost my train of thought when I go back. That's the other thing that happens. But basically what this does is this needs to give you that snapshot, because we're here to earn a profit. Yes, we want to make our primary objective, right? We have two primary objectives: to build a business where it's very profitable for us, along with spreading smiles and joy and happiness, right? They're not exclusive of each other. 99.7% of us are in this business to make a profit. There are a handful of people out there that are not. So this is not for them as far as trying to build a profitable business. So this is one of the things you need to know. Look at where your money's going. Oh, and you know what? I just remembered one of the most important things I wanted to talk about. And I'm sorry that I got so wrapped up in going over all of those expenses. So I don't know. Can y'all see these great? Hold on. I got to block somebody else. Wow, I just got a marriage proposal. Block. Will you? I just got a marriage proposal. Did anybody else see that? That was really funny. I don't know if y'all see these comments or not, but you never know. This is the reason I actually get a little nervous coming on and doing things publicly, is because you get some oddball people as well. So anyway, here's what I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to pull up what Ashley and I were talking about specifically, because I want to read it to you. Okay, here's my question. Do you know where to categorize all of your inventory? It's inventory and stakes, specifically all of those thousands of dollars of signs you just bought in 2020. Because whether you're a brand new business or whether you're an established business, we all invested in a lot of signs in 2020. And where are you going to put it in your taxes, right? There's two ways you can do it. One is really straight and simple. You can expense it out. And that's a straight, you tally up how many signs you bought. Simple as that, right? And then where are we going to put that? We're going to put that under, wait for it. There's two ways of doing it. If you want to expense it, it goes under supplies. Yes, supplies. And I just triple checked with Ashley right before this, just to make sure I didn't lose my mind. And then I've been doing it right all these years. The other thing you can do is depreciate it. And you can have an asset with that. And then you can depreciate it. I don't remember if she said 3 or 5 years. I think 5 years. Yes. You can depreciate it out for 5 years. And so there's pros and cons to both. Expensing it out the calendar year that you purchased it. If you just purchased signs or paid for them, let's say January 2nd, let's say, what am I trying to say? If you purchase signs, let's say December 31st, but your credit card did not actually get charged until January 1st, that's now a 2021 charge. So that's a side note. But from that, sorry, I'm reading your comments, Monica. I'm feeling good. My husband started all the customer list, cost, and inventory all in Excel. Good job to your hubby. Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. You cover what auto expenses you can claim. Jeff, let me just real quick on that. Go for the mileage. 57.5 cents a mile for your business is going to far be your best benefit over expensing out your gas. Gas is in now. Maybe if we end up at $4 a gallon again, then you're going to want to look at it side by side. But for the past, I think almost every year in 21 years, it has by far been the most profitable and beneficial to go ahead and take that mileage. There's a way, Jeff, when you do it, that the IRS will let you kind of chintz out just a couple of bucks, basically off of some of your other wear and tear. But, as long as you have all the records, you can go down that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what I have found and what Ashley and I talked about was take the mileage deduction. Where it comes into play would be your parking and your tolls. So that's where that can actually help out. Okay. Yeah. Monica too. Exactly. Go for the mileage. I love it. I love it. Okay. So the other thing about the inventory, this is the biggest thing I want you to go and do is add up and see how much you just spent on inventory last year. And I'm hoping I didn't mean to get off on this topic, but if you didn't, please go and tally up all of your gross revenue. This is not the money you made in your pocket. This is how much you made in sales. If it went through Venmo and it wasn't supposed to go through Venmo, Well, it's still money earned. It's just didn't quite go through the right channels, but it's still money earned. I want you to go look at what your gross revenue was. And even if you don't have time to sit down and go through every one of your business expenses today or tomorrow, do yourself a favor and try to do a down and dirty tally of how much you spend on inventory. You can just make your own little line item on the Excel or on the Google sheet that says inventory. And you might need to have a really hard talk with yourself on what you want to do about it in 2021, because there's so many beautiful designs to purchase. And we've never had this many vendors out there. And oh my gosh, there's some really amazing, talented vendors. So that's something else to just sort of look at, is where your money is going. And this is why having the snapshot is so important. Let's see, should we keep track of donations that we make, like setups for school fundraisers or donating our services for a nonprofit auction? Leslie, that is such a phenomenal question. And there's two things about this and you're going to love my answer. It depends. Sorry to say that, but this is when you really do need to look at the exact situation and talk to a CPA. And, if you're using TurboTax when you do your actual taxes, you can actually get on board with one of their certified pros. And this is a really important question, because when I have spoken with, I'm the queen of PTA and booster clubs and all that, and I've been involved for many, many years. And the one thing I know is you have to have that 501c3. You've got to have documentation. If I go and just set up as a donation for my local school, which I've done, hundreds of, that's just me doing it to be philanthropic. That's not a deduction. That's just goodwill for your community. If you're doing it as part of a fundraiser, let's say for the PTA, which I've done also, then as long as you have a paper trail, then you can deduct it. But because every situation on that can be done just a little bit differently, I pause on saying, here's the actual answer to that. And I hope that makes sense, because I don't want to, I get nervous thinking, oh my gosh, what if I don't give you accurate advice? So all of this is about what has worked for me, the experience I've had, and the training I've had. And having Ashley, again, she is, if you tuned in late, she is our certified QuickBooks Pro. And she's not here because she's in the middle of processing 1099s for all of her clients. And obviously she's learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And I want to make sure you all can get hopefully some takeaways from this, because that's why we want to do this. We want to serve you. Now, any of you, I know I have some wonderful paid members that are on here, and FYI, paid members, we are having a financial training with Ashley one day next week. I just don't know the day yet, because she's got to get through all these 1099s, and then she can look up, and then we'll set the date. But anyway, okay, so I think that's it. Let me look up here at the comments real quick. Sandy, you are so funny. I'm scared to tally up. You're not alone. Just know that you're not alone. Oh my goodness. But I think what's good about it is finally, it's so easy to go, I don't want to see, but we got to see. We got to look, because we want to build. And, when you don't know your numbers, you're just not building a super strong foundation. And this goes for any year in business. This is not specifically for newbies. This is for any of us. I have some friends. We go back 19 years, I think. We started on an internet forum back in 2003. And so, got some long-time friendships that have built up, and you can build a great business. What I want to tell you though is, what does that look like? I'll ask you that question. What does that look like for you? Maybe you want to make $1,000 a month, and you work just a few hours a week. You don't have to create an empire to be successful. It's a matter of what you want out of this business. If you're the one trying to create an empire, then you're going to have to probably work a little bit more than 5 hours a week. But you also got to get your systems in place. No matter big or small, you got to get your systems in place. So Monica, yes. Thank you. Let's see. Victoria, hi, Vicky. No worries. We have the replay for you. I know you were right where you needed to be with your daughter. Let's see. I guess we should tell everybody. I wasn't even trying to plan on, going through the membership. I just really wanted to do this. Let me look at the questions one more time. Do you recommend any other tax software other than TurboTax, or do you feel TurboTax is just simply easier? It depends. Y'all got to love my answer on it. It depends, because it depends on what you've already been using. If you have a good bookkeeper, and I don't mean any bookkeeper, a bookkeeper that's been doing your personal taxes, but they also have a lot of experience with Schedule Cs, talk to them, because there is something to be said for that real human expert. Now, if you walk into H&R Block, I've done this before. I don't have the confidence in them because they're literally just there and they're charging by the form. That's their business model, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean they know your business and exactly what A, B, and C mean. Now, I'm the nerd that walks in, I used to walk in with my handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. I'll print it out and all of my categories organized. And so I'm like a bookkeeper's dream, because I'm like, oh, here's the 3 that I had questions on. But that's not normal. Normally, you're expecting them to be able to know where to categorize things. They may look at some of the stuff that we do and go, I have no idea what you're talking about. So if you have a personal bookkeeper already for your tax person, talk to them. Now, if they don't know much about Schedule Cs, then, you're going to have to be really careful. But I will tell you, TurboTax has come a long way. They really have. But you still want to do a lot of research. Don't just blindly go into TurboTax and expect to sit there for an hour and you're going to be done. You're going to come up with a lot of questions. But what you're going to find is even just our cheat sheet. The reason I wanted to put this together is when you go through it, you're like TurboTax, if you use it, or TaxSlayer or H&R Block, whichever one, you're going to go, oh yeah, I already know what they're talking about with some of these, funky things. Now, something like advertising. Did you know your website would go under advertising? Back in the day in 1999, when I was creating, my husband and I, more my husband than me, our first website, the IRS didn't even have a category for it. They were like, what's a website? What's web hosting? What's a domain name? Right? So we've come a long way with how things keep changing. And phones. Okay, I want to keep you. I don't want to keep you. But real quick, your cell phone. Did you know you can deduct part of that because you're using it for business? You cannot deduct 100% of your cell phone unless it is dedicated completely to your business. If you have a separate personal phone, then by all means, your business phone is yours 100% to deduct. However, what you can do is you can deduct a certain percentage. The challenge there is you've got to basically log every day and go, you know what, about how much time did I spend on my phone for work or for business versus personal? And then you're going to need to just gauge that because, let's face it, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I used to have a work phone and a personal phone, and it was just a lot. My husband still does. So it's nice and simple and streamlined for him. But when I had both, it was a headache. Do I now think I should have both? It's something to consider. We have a lot of other technology options before going and getting a whole separate phone plan to do that. But the moral of the story is you can deduct part of your phone, and I highly recommend, even if it's a small portion, it helps. So, okay. Let's see. Yay. I'm so glad that this is helping a few of the, tell me if you're still here with me, I would love to know what is one of the deductions or one of the categories, something I said that was a surprise. Was there anything here that was a surprise that made you go, oh, I didn't realize that? Okay. And while you all talk, I have to take a sip because I'm talking way too much, y'all. Okay. Phew. Okay, Steve, here you are. You're starting a new business in Colorado. Oh, yay, Colorado. Crystal was just in Colorado. We love Colorado. Okay, you believe you'd like to become a paid member yourself as well. Oh, hey, Alan. Hey, fellow Texan. Awesome. Sales tax. Oh, good. Marilyn, I'm so glad to hear that because it's just not something you think about. And even when you go through TurboTax, which is what I use, but I'm not sitting here and endorsing one program or another. I'll tell you what I will endorse. And it's more about who I will endorse, and that is Ashley. The reason for that is she's done this. Okay, I don't want to say her age. So if I say she's done this for 100 years, she might just slap me. But she's done this for a long time. She won't like me telling you that she's got her MBA. She is like this finance guru. And the positions, the CFO position she has held, she does not have any of this on her resume out in public that she will come out and go, hey, look at me, look at me. But she knows what she's doing. And I will give her my books. In fact, she wants my books. And she takes care of it all. She does, for some people, she'll just do an initial setup where if you're going to go through QuickBooks, she's your girl. I highly recommend QuickBooks. What I really highly recommend is having somebody else that knows how to do it, do your books, because time is money for us. And that is not my zone of genius. If that's your zone of genius, that's awesome. But if it's not, it's better to spend your time on revenue generating activities and have somebody else take care of the stuff that just bogs us down. And for most of us, we're more on the creative side. And I love marketing. Marketing and teaching are my jam. This is where my happy place is. And Crystal too. I mean, she's right there too. This is why we're birds of a feather, right? Anybody that knows my actual local business, it's Flamingos to Go. And so it's all about flamingos and birds of a feather. And we have our own little flock. So side note there. Anyway, I do highly recommend Ashley, but she is exclusively for our paid members. And I'll tell you though, the 3 services that she offers in there, again, I wasn't even trying to do a plug here, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway, because it's so important. She has the initial setup of QuickBooks. First of all, she gets a discount on QuickBooks products. If you go to QuickBooks.com, they're going to show you a shiny, pretty price, and then it goes away in like 90 days, and then you go up to full price. With Ashley, if you purchase it through her, even if you just want to purchase QuickBooks through her and be done, she will give you a discounted price that's a permanent locked-in price. It's not going to go up in 3 months. That's product number 1. The other offer she has is to set it up. We all need a chart of accounts, and we're weird because of our unique businesses. And so we need certain things in a chart of accounts. Could you just rattle off a chart of accounts? For most of us, no, it's kind of complicated. Crystal went through, she just graduated with her business degree. Just rattling off a chart of accounts, does that just come just nice and easy? It's like, ugh. It's no fun. But with that, she does that. She gets you all set up to then you can do your own QuickBooks. The other 2 services she offers is she'll do quarterly services for you where, if you want her to review and put your statements together. And then the other one she does that I am like jumping on board on is literally just having her take care of your full service bookkeeping. That means you connect your bank accounts, everything goes through there. And you go, hey, Ashley, how are you? And you got it all done. How great is that? It's full service. So anyway, that's something we can talk about if anybody ever gets interested in that. That's probably way above what anybody's thinking about right now. But let's see. I'm going to look up here. Hi. Oh my gosh, I have some wonderful friends here. Do you combine your sales tax into your prices or keep them separate in your personal business? Well, that's a really good question. And here's what I do. I can't say everybody, but I will say everybody for my world, for my business. Everybody expects to pay sales tax. They don't walk into Walmart and all prices are included. All the pricing is included with tax. So if somebody purchases a rental for $100, I say it's $100 plus tax. And then it's $108.25. When they go to pay online, I have it set up and they know they're paying tax in it. So if you wanted to, there's been some businesses that do it the opposite way where they'll say it's $100. I'm picking out numbers, but then the tax is included in that. And you can do it that way. I'll tell you on the back side of that, you might make yourself a little crazy because then you're always needing to make sure. The other thing, now I'm probably mucking up the waters here. If you have out of state customers who are purchasing, they are tax exempt. They do not pay sales tax in another state. So I'm in Texas, but if somebody from Louisiana, California, Alaska, anywhere besides Texas orders and pays, they are tax exempt. And that's where you can really, muck it up if you're adding it all in there. However you're processing your credit cards, these are settings. And people are used to paying sales tax. And so I really don't think it's worth doing the other way. But what I love about our businesses is one thing simple. You do you. You do your business by your design. If you want to do it a certain way, heck yeah, do it your way. So just make sure you do some research to know exactly the pros and cons of both. Okay, well, real quick, Crystal, everybody wants to know how to go over and join. I mean, I'm honored that there's people here that want to do that. So Crystal, can you put a link down in the comments on where to go? That would be awesome. Basically, y'all, Crystal's going to put a link in here, but we have our business membership. You would be joining our Yard Card Business Network. And we have 3 really crazy, I say crazy low plans because I've been blessed to have been told that these should be at least twice the price. And so I really feel like we're giving you an excellent value. We've got a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, and an annual plan. And with that, you just click on that link and it's really simple. It takes you over to our homepage because I try to keep things as simple as possible. When you scroll down, actually, Crystal's putting in a direct link to you. That's awesome. You're going to see what the different benefits are over on the homepage. And, one of them is we do different trainings. Like next week, I think it's next week, we're going to set up with Ashley to go over more financial stuff. Right now, we just started our series on marketing, on email marketing. And what we're doing is we just started with the basics. When I say basics, I mean basics, marketing terms. And we're starting at the beginning and we're going to be building marketing plans because we all need to get our ducks in a row. And that includes me, every one of us. It doesn't matter. We're never too old to go and learn something. And I think we should always be students and learning something every day. Okay, so if you want to make sure that you get joined, let's see, Crystal's got this here. She's got the link. I'm looking over at my handy dandy iPad in case you're wondering what I'm doing over here. And we would love to have you join us. And we have a private Facebook group, but what we have that we really enjoy a lot is our private member portal that you receive, because we don't want to rely just on Facebook to ever just do trainings there. So we usually meet on Zoom and we do post in our group. Don't get me wrong. We have a great little Facebook group of us and you don't have to join it. I want to just mention that I have people that absolutely do not want to be on Facebook or social media. And we have those members. So they're not in the Facebook group, but guess what? They love being a member and they come on our Zoom sessions. They get in the membership, they get in the library. We did just start doing audio trainings. And one of the feedback we've gotten, some of the feedback from several members was that they wanted to be able to listen on the go and not have everything be visual. Sometimes we just have to break out, sit down and watch, just like with this and the spreadsheets, right? But sometimes we're just learning. So they asked for small segments of trainings. So we just rolled out our first 2 that are under 10 minutes each. And so far, okay, Rachel's here, Dina's here. I love it. Love the audio trainings. Thank you, Rachel. I'm so glad to hear that. And so we're always tweaking and pivoting and going, okay, our valued members, what's working and what's not working. And then we keep pivoting and tweaking. So we're going to continue to do the audio trainings. But like next time when we talk with Ashley and do this next financial training, we're going to have to sit down in person, so to speak, because I don't think we're going to be able to just do all that on audio. But what we do is when we have like a Zoom meeting, we record it all. And then Crystal or I upload it into our private member library, and then you can have it anytime you want. What's cool about it is you can still listen on the go. You know why? I don't know if you all heard about this, but there's an app for that. We have an app so that you have your member library with you at all times. So that's been a game changer. I have it with some other memberships that I'm a part of. And oh my gosh, I love having it that way. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, and I don't want to do that. Your time is valuable and precious. And I am really glad you all are here. And I'm really grateful for that. The other thing, real quick, would you like a copy of the Google Sheet template that we put together? I've had a few people that actually already messaged me and said, hey, is there any chance you have something like that? So what we've done, we didn't plan on doing this, but we went ahead and created it and decided if you would like it, we will send it over to you. And if that's something that sounds great, just let us know. We will probably, you know what, Crystal, let's send out an email and we'll just put a link to it in the email. And so, yeah, okay, great. Absolutely. Let's do that. Are you all getting the email about the business expenses? Because not everybody's on that list. I know we have some people in here that are not, they didn't sign up for it. So if you're not on that email list, what I need you to do is go sign up for that so that you can get on that email trail. Let's see, Crystal, can you put in the link to sign up for the business expense cheat sheet? And it's on the home page. If you want to just go there and click on it for the link. I just want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to get on that mailing list specifically, because I have other mailing lists, but the thing about that is I don't want to hound people. You know, if people aren't interested in the financial part of this, you don't want to be hounded, right? But I know the people that signed up for this expense sheet, y'all have been amazing. You've reached out to me left and right, wanting more. And it's like, okay, that's the reason I'm here today. We just happen to have this cheat sheet. Quite frankly, it was put together for our paid members. And there was so many people that wanted to do something like that we said, you know what, we're gonna just put it out here for everybody because we want to help you. We all need help. So there you are. Okay, there is the link Crystal just put in. And you'll have, yeah, great. There's the link if you want to just sign up for the business expense sheet. And then that gets you in our ecosystem for that email. And we will get out the email. It won't be today, y'all. I don't think it will. Maybe I'll get inspired. But we'll get it out really soon. And it will be through Crystal. I'm going to let you come back on screen if you don't mind and explain how that's going to work with how they're going to download it.
Okay, so sorry, I got a little distracted. Are we talking about the app, downloading the app, or the spreadsheet?
No, how they're going to get the spreadsheet.
Okay, so once you sign up for this, I have it on my phone. Once you sign up for that, where do I? Just go to download now at the bottom. Yeah, sorry, it keeps redirecting me.
No, that's okay. So once you sign up, and Crystal, what she's showing you is on the website, and that's fine. You can use the link that she posted, and then you sign up for basically it's that mailing list. And then Crystal, once we're ready to send out this spreadsheet, how will that work? How will that process work?
So once you get your email, let me pull up my email real quick. There's going to be a little link at the bottom, and you're simply just going to click on the link. And on Google Docs at the top, it's going to have a little box. I'll make a quick little how-to video to go along with it. It'll be easier to explain than trying to show you on my phone. So
awesome. Thank you. So in other words, folks, she's going to even include a little a how-to on how to do this. Isn't that awesome? So we'll make sure we get that to you. It'll magically show up in your email as long as you're on that email list, that special list. So, okay, Anna, are your trainings saved so that we can watch previous ones if we join? Absolutely. This is what's amazing about the membership. Most memberships you join, you don't get any of the back trainings. Well, guess what? I don't want to do that. I want everybody to have what we have. And so you're going to go way back to the beginning when literally we're just bootstrapping it and putting stuff together. We did it messy. And I tell you that because it's not something fancy and polished, because we're just here to serve and we're trying to keep it simple. And you'll go back and you'll have one of Ashley's other trainings. We've got Armando, and he's done multiple Facebook ads trainings. We've got how to work with Canva, social media marketing with Jillian from Catch My Party, which is a mega super successful party site. If you ever type in catchmyparty.com, she has like, I don't know how many. She's the most popular party planning site on the internet. Well, she came in and did a training for us. I mean, let's be real. I try to go in and, we had a trademark attorney come in. One of my amazing business colleagues was willing to come in, and she did like a 2-hour training on the do's and don'ts and legalities that I will promise you, when you look around at what some other people are doing, not everybody's doing it quite as legal as they might think they are, but we've got a legal training in there too. I'll just leave it at that. So yes, everything that's been there in the past, you'll have access to. So, okay, we will let you go. This training, it'll be on Facebook temporarily. And then, but you know what? This is kind of weird. It's streamed to our YouTube channel. And so it'll be over there. And I think I have some marriage proposals over there, according to my, my scroll. I don't know. I'm really awkward on camera, y'all, especially the longer I go, I get red, and it's a lot. So anyway, I want to thank y'all so much. Crystal, thank you so much for all of your help. She just keeps us together. She's our glue, and she keeps things working. So we appreciate you, Crystal. And Rachel and Dina, who, I mean, I have so many. Dawn was here. Oh my gosh, I saw several of our wonderful paid members. If you become a paid member, y'all, oh my God, I got to just tell you, I got to brag. We have the best people you're ever going to find, period. Number one. All right. With that, I'll let everybody go. Go out today, make somebody smile, do something wonderful, and invest in your business. And we will catch you very soon. And look for that email maybe today, maybe tomorrow. All right. Thank y'all again so much. I really appreciate you being here. So I will see you soon. Cheers. End broadcast.